Winning cures everything. Now for your hosts, Gary and Chris.
Welcome in, Winning Cures Everything. This is the Wednesday, excuse me. God bless America. Every day runs around the same now, doesn't it? It's April 1st. So we'll just call it an April Fool's joke. I'm Gary.
And I'm Chris.
Good gracious. You can catch both of us right now on the SBR Picks YouTube page. Chris got up and talked some NHL today. I talked a little NFL the other day. All those videos, I believe, will be up over there if you want to go check them out. It's SBR, it's Sportsbook Review. Go check it out. Go to winningcureseverything.com if you want to see what the website looks like right now before I change it over, because I am right in the middle of knocking all of that out. I've got a new theme. I've got a new design. I've got all sorts of stuff. It's going to take a few days for me to actually get it up there, but winningcureseverything.com has got everything that you need to know. It's got our social media platforms. It's got our picks. It's got our previews. Obviously, there's no picks right now. There's no previews right now. But we're talking sports topics every single day because you guys need something going on, right? You're all sitting at home. Everybody's chilling. It is what it is. Winningcureseverything.com is the one-stop shop for all of you. Go and get it done. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on the podcast, and follow Chris and myself on Twitter at Winning Cures. You can get me at Gary WCE, and you can get Chris at Chris B. Giannini. Let's go ahead and talk about today's topics. The first thing that I want to bring up to you, Chris, is some Major League Baseball, which is not anything new for any reason, but the MLB Network has been showing old school World Series games, like these classic, Game 7s, all that kind of stuff. And right now, as we're recording this, I've been watching this for an hour and a half. And by watching, I mean it's on in the background, but I'll look up and see what's going on. And Jack Morris is pitching a gem and all this. But it is Game 7 of the Minnesota Twins and the Atlanta Braves 1991 World Series. Now, do you remember much about this series at all?
Yes, Kirby Puckett series.
Oh, it absolutely was. Absolutely was. Tom Glavine, John Smoltz, all that bunch. Smoltz started this game, came out, let's see, who was it? Alejandro Pena was in at the very end of the game, and he gave up the flyout to Gene Larkin, and then Dan Gladden tagged at third for the victory. You want to talk about a fantastic baseball game. How many times do we see pitchers go 10 innings now?
Never now. It'll never happen again.
It's insane to think about. And it wasn't like this guy was throwing, heat. He wasn't throwing, 100 miles an hour. Like, even from the jump, he just knew, like, all of them. Glavine and Maddox and Smoltz and yeah, they knew how to pitch. And we talked about this on the show the other day. They don't teach this anymore.
Nobody teaches pitching anymore. They teach you to throw hard. That's it.
They
teach you to throw hard, learn one, maybe two pitches, and throw hard. That is everybody has one great pitch, two good pitches, and that's it.
Yeah. Interesting name from this. I hadn't thought about him in forever. Do you remember Ron Gant?
Yes.
I remember this game 7, because my dad had brought in, this was like a 7:30 start time local. And obviously in 1991, I was only 8 years old, but I wanted to stay up and watch the game. So my dad, unbeknownst to my mother, had brought in his little black and white TV that had like the antennas and set it up in mine and my little brother's room. Now, my little brother was a massive Kirby Puckett fan. He had literally, we were sleeping in the same room at this point because we wanted to sit up and watch the game. His entire wall, I don't know if you remember this, half of his room was a Minnesota Twins baseball like mural. It was home plate right in the middle, and then you had all the fans and all that kind of stuff around it. It was one of the coolest things I can remember. It was wallpaper, but it was amazing. So he was pulling for the Twins, and I was pulling for the Braves back then. And you want to talk about disaster when the Twins actually won this thing. I was 3 years older, and it didn't matter because He won. He was enjoying it. Now, he doesn't remember this, but Obi Matt jumps in. He said, Kirby. Yeah, Matt Huey was a gigantic Kirby Puckett fan as well. I don't know of anybody that wasn't a Kirby Puckett fan.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was one of the class acts of baseball. I'll tell you, my love for him grew at the very end of his career. He is one of the guys that really taught David Ortiz, my personal hero, how to be a professional. Saw that he had raw talent, really went to bat for him when he was in the Twins organization. That's where he came up. That's where he got drafted at. And the Twins were just ready to cut bait with him because he wasn't the star they thought he was going to be the second that he got there. And Kirby told him, you're making a mistake. You're making a mistake. And they traded him to Boston, and the rest is history.
Yeah. Got a couple more comments in here. McKinnon jumped in. He said, in regards to current pitching, buddy of mine had a little brother get drafted number 9 overall out of high school by the Tigers. He started playing a year or two before that and was already hitting 95 miles an hour. He's still in the minors, but all he's been doing is actually learning how to pitch because all he could do was throw heat. Like it's what you and I talked about. They draft people based on how fast they can throw, and that's it.
If I was, and I have no idea if the guy has any interest in doing it. If I was him, I probably wouldn't, because working with people is not something I always enjoy doing. But I would, if I was a team, I would pay Greg Maddux any amount of money I could possibly pay him to get him to come coach my pitching staff.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think I want him at the minor league level. Like I need, because that's where you're getting guys on the crazy cheap.
And that's where you teach them.
Yeah, and then you take one of those kids straight from college, straight from high school, and you mold them before they get to the league, and now you've got them in the league for several years on the real cheap, and they know how to pitch.
Yes.
Now, it's not magic, and it's not something that you can teach somebody.
Not everybody can do it. Yeah.
No, this is the problem. This is something that takes a decade of learning, and they need to start teaching us at the high school level, at the junior high level, at the little league level, and they don't. All they teach is throw hard.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Matt jumped in on YouTube. He said Maddox was crazy to watch. And then he said when he made that catch in the World Series, he's talking about Kirby Puckett. When he made that catch in the World Series, it was like someone put a Snickers on top of the fence for him to jump that high.
That's right. Adrenaline is a real thing. I don't think that he could make that jump if that much was on the line.
No, if this was like an NFL combine, there's no chance. Like
if this was game, 83 of 162, whatever, it doesn't matter. Like, he's not making that catch. He's not getting that aerial. He's just not. I don't believe that.
I agree. Drink of the day, by the way, because I'm doing that every now and then. You'll appreciate this one. Johnny Walker. This is a wine cask blend, and it is fantastic. This thing is so smooth. I have no water in this. It is just scotch, and it's awesome. So, bringing that up for a little bit, because if any companies want to jump in on this advertising segment that we got here, drink of the day, you can get Chris on this too. Just saying. We're talking to you, Coors Light. Just saying. Hey, did you see Coors Light is doing?
I'll come a lot cheaper than Gary will.
You believe that? Did you see Coors Light is doing deliveries?
No, but that's awesome. Everybody needs to be doing deliveries right now.
Well, yeah. Hey, I found out Krispy Kreme is doing it.
Yeah. Everybody needs to be.
Yeah, you got that right. But I couldn't believe that Coors Light is doing home deliveries, like even if you just want a 12-pack.
Yeah, get a case.
That's crazy.
Drop a case of beer off. Why not? Hey, right now gas is cheap. Yeah, I'll take anything to your house.
Now you got that right. Let's go on and jump in next. I guess big topic, which we'll decide if it's a big topic or not. The NBA is having a players-only 2K tournament on ESPN this Friday night. Now, have you seen anything about this?
I know that I'm
fans. Now, here
watch do this, then professional.
Well, here is if this was just
if I'm gonna watch Madden on the internet,
you want to watch good Madden players.
I want somebody who's a Madden stud. I don't, I don't need Reggie Bush out there playing. Like I don't know that you're just because you were real good in real life doesn't mean you're going to be good with your thumbs.
No, they did go through and they made sure that these guys could actually play. These are guys that are actually ranked highly on the Madden online stuff. They get on and play with fans all the time. It's this whole different kind of underworld, which is really crazy. But here are the overall seed ratings, which are based on NBA tenure, but it's NBA 2K tenure. All right, so check this out. The number 1 seed is Kevin Durant. 2 is Trae Young. 3, Hassan Whiteside. 4, Donovan Mitchell. 5, Devin Booker. 6, Andre Drummond. Zach LaVine is 7. Montrezl Harrell is 8. Domantas Sabonis is number 9. DeAndre 8 and 10. DeMarcus Cousins is 11. Michael Porter Jr., Rui Hachimura, Patrick Beverly, Harrison Barnes, and Derek Jones Jr. It's going to be Friday 6 until 10:30 p.m. on ESPN and ESPN2, and then they've got Sunday, and then they're doing the quarterfinals on Tuesday and the finals on Saturday, April 11th. ESPN needs content, and you can tell it. They need it so bad right now. And at least
they have the rights to classic games that have happened already. You're watching one right now.
Oh, yeah.
I literally would be doing nothing but airing old classic games. That's it. I'm not doing any of this gimmick stuff. If it was my decision, there's no way on earth I'm doing this.
Well, I will tell you this. You and I brought this up the other day. NASCAR is doing the IFL, which is this virtual racing thing.
Yeah. And
they did it on FS1, and the ratings were bananas.
Yeah, NASCAR people are NASCAR crazy, though.
Yeah. And I'm curious if NBA people will be.
Normal people. NASCAR fans are not really normal people. So, like, I've got family members that are NASCAR people. They watch, like, the Speed Channel at all times. That's what's on in their house. NBA fans, you know, they're gonna watch, you know, whatever the most popular shows are in the country at all times. They're going to stream Netflix. They're normal people. NASCAR people are not normal people. They're just not.
Hey,
I could see that being a draw for their fans than NBA being a draw watching Kevin Durant and DeMarcus Cousins play one another on a video game.
That's true. That's true. Now that
you
got a good point.
They're not going to be real. Like, they're going to be fake. Because these guys you wouldn't be able to air them talking at all if they were themselves.
No, because they'd be dropping MFers and all sorts of
stuff. No. The language would be, you know, just put on HBO.
You got that.
Which right. I'll say this. If I thought these people would be themselves and not so image conscious, I would be more interested. But I know what I'm getting. It's on an ABC channel that is owned by Disney. And I know exactly what this is going to be.
Yeah, no, you are.
I want to see somebody throw a controller. I want to see a TV break.
you may get that anyway.
I'll do it.
You may get that.
That doesn't have to be like planned out or scripted. That's just gonna happen. A glitch in a game will happen.
Oh yeah,
it'll piss somebody off, and these guys got the money to where they don't care if they break a $4,000 TV.
Now
it don't matter.
You talked about this not moving the needle for you. Piece of news that came out, ESPN moving up the Last Dance documentary, which is the Michael Jordan documentary.
Yep.
Does that move the needle?
Oh, hell yes. That'll move the needle. That was our entire childhood. Entire childhood of basketball. There's not a person our age, in our age range, if you're in your 30s, from 30 to 39, that this man didn't affect your life.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was a massive Penny Hardaway fan. I wasn't even a Memphis basketball fan. I was a Penny fan.
Yeah.
So when he got to the NBA, I was a Magic fan and whatnot. But I always enjoy, like, I didn't, you know how, like, you can hate certain basketball players now? Yeah. I never hated Michael Jordan, even when he was knocking Penny out of the playoffs.
Right.
I just always enjoyed watching. He was so much fun. And maybe it was because we didn't know all of the other stuff, but he kept his mouth shut and played basketball. Like, it was easy. So there was none of the political stuff, none of that.
We didn't have access to
there's no social media.
His opinions to anything like that anyway.
Right.
So none of that's relevant. Just the guy changed the game with how great he was.
Oh yeah, I cannot wait for that. It was supposed to come out in what, June or July, after the finals.
Yeah. No, they're absolutely smart. I mean, yeah. Why? If you've got great content, why sit on it?
Yeah.
Why sit on it?
No, you got that right. Let's talk about the NCAA for 2 seconds.
Okay.
Not going to take super long with it because I think this was a pretty common sense move, but they approved an extra year of eligibility for spring athletes.
Hang on, I'm trying to figure this out. Didn't they do this a while back? Haven't
No.
they made this same announcement 4 times?
No. This was officially voted on and approved finally.
So they just kept saying, we're going to do it.
Well, they were saying we're going to vote on it. And then they finally voted on it.
So who has to vote?
Whatever the NCAA Board of Governors is. Whoever that is. I should know that. I don't know that off the top of my head.
It's school presidents and athletic directors,
basically. So when you can get them all together
from the NCAA, yeah, I know who. I couldn't tell you the individuals.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
There's more schools from a Power 5 that are involved in it than like Delta State or Ouachita Baptist University.
I would guarantee that. This was the easiest move that you could possibly make. I don't know that they've set anything as far as scholarship, restrictions or anything along those lines. What else needs to happen here? The winter sports are not getting a year back, but for baseball and those that, got to start the season but didn't get to finish it, obviously all the spring sports have been canceled throughout the summer, et cetera.
Well, basketball is a winter sport.
Yeah, basketball is a winter sport, and they got through the regular seasons, but they didn't get through a conference champion or a conference title.
So they're not giving basketball back?
No, basketball is not getting a year back.
Oh, that's horseshit. That's the one I cared about.
Yeah, it's not that one. It would be baseball, softball, volleyball, golf, blah, 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 blah.
You had the special teams in Dayton and some of these other, of course, Dayton's going to lose guys to the NBA.
Yeah, there's no way to do that.
A couple of these teams that were really good and they weren't NBA guys good. We've played together for 3 or 4 years, and this is kind of our time to shine and really maybe take down a giant. And if those kids could come back together next year, they could possibly make another one of those same runs.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them do something for basketball to be able to get that, just because so many of the kids are going to go to the NBA. It's only going to affect a few schools.
Yeah.
And realistically, in the amount of players, it's only going to affect a few players.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think this was the way that you had to go about it. The spring ones had not even really gotten started, so I think this is how you had to do it. I mean, with basketball, they at least got through the entire regular season. No, there was not a champion named, but I think trying to give them a year back, all of the hurdles that you would have to go through with, academic requirements. Do these guys want to come back and go to grad school?
But that's all the person's individual choices.
Agreed.
There's no hoops to jump through. Do you want to come back to school or not? That's not a hard decision to make. You get a year of eligibility if you want to come back.
Yeah, okay.
Now, I would say in this situation, as long as your coach is still a member of that team, you can't transfer. Even if you've graduated, you don't get another year of eligibility. You can't go transfer to another school. We're giving you an opportunity to play for the team again because you didn't get to finish the season if you want one more shot at playing with the guys that you grew up playing with.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you graduate, if you choose to come back to school, if you choose to get, and I'm okay if they don't give extra scholarships for it. If these kids want to play, because most of these kids, because you're talking about baseball, lacrosse, all this stuff, you've got a team of 30-something people on a baseball team, and you got 11.7 scholarships for the whole crew. Saying seniors can come back their extra year doesn't change the amount of the fact that hardly nobody has a scholarship out there.